Lee, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome, mate.
Finally, the transfer window is over, so again, we're both happy in that respect because we don't need to report as much as before. Tell me, like, from your perspective, how well did we do in the window, and what was the highlights of the window?
The highlights was the money for Sissoko, surely. Surely it was. Yeah, getting that kind of money, reported money, fantastic if we have got 30 million. There's a couple of Spurs fans chucking about saying it's like each season we'll get 6 million or something stupid like that. I've heard a lot of rumours.
Nah, I don't think Mike Ashley would have settled for that. Come on.
I don't think it'll be 30 million up front. I think it could be something like 20 million and maybe add-ons or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the best piece of news because we'll talk about the ins in a second. But yeah, to get 30 million for a player who didn't want to be here is fantastic. We've got big money for Wijnaldum, 25.
Yeah.
Townsend, not so much because his release clause was met. But Sissoko for me is the highlight. What about yours?
Oh, it definitely has to be Sissoko. I mean, even with the first instalment for 6 million, we've already made our money back off that already. And then obviously Wijnaldum we knew we didn't want to be here. Townsend I was probably the most gutted about because, you know, he was a player of some value, not just in financial terms, but on the playing field. But I think we replaced him well with Richie. And obviously Atsu, fingers crossed he comes off quite well. But all in all, like, that was probably the highlight for me, getting rid of Sissoko, because it was just dragging on and on and on. And you just wanted to have it come to an end, really. I mean, the only thing that we really didn't get, rid of, or personally we get rid of, was Tiote, really.
He's a bit stuck in limbo at the minute, what do we do with him? So I jumped on Google and had a look around at all the transfer windows that were open, and there's some obscure countries which he's not going to go to. So if he does go, it's probably going to look at one of the rich clubs in Qatar. But apart from that, we're left to stuck with him. And then the question's going to have to be asked, are we going to let him rot in reserves? Probably not. He's probably have to, at some point, come back in at the first team at some point. Whether that's good for morale or not, it's probably not. But he's an upgrade for me for Jack Colback up until January, the very earliest or the latest. I don't know. I'm in two minds, but I think eventually, Wells is here. Let's get the most out of him.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, he's surely going to be on a fair whack. He's surely going to be at least 30 to 40 grand a week.
Yeah.
So it'll be a shame to have someone of that quality, because he does possess quality as well, for him to be sitting on the bench. I mean, as you said, he's an upgrade on Jack Colback, which is, not really that. He's not really that hard, is it? To be fair,
it's not.
But at the same time, you've got to use him to his advantage. I mean, he's only got one more year to go, and he was more of the quiet type compared to Sissoko. We know he wanted to leave, but he wasn't as obvious as Sissoko in that sense. So
Sissoko was shouting on. Wijnaldum, to be fair, wasn't like that either.
Yeah.
He just quietly got out his business. Wijnaldum's went to Liverpool, which is European football, whether that's Champions League or Europa League every season.
Yeah.
Sissoko, the big Arsenal fan, has only went and joined Tottenham, so got no sympathy for him. Townsend wanted to play Premier League. I can understand it. And Yama, he probably wanted out as well. He just wanted to keep in the Dutch side, I reckon, for that. The other players that have all been the likes of Colaccini and Taylor over the summer, they had to be gone. Cabello's another one. Just the only thing that worries me is all these middle-aged, no, they're not middle-aged, mid-20 players, all of these on loan. That's the only thing I don't like.
That's what I was going to ask you, is about, like, what about the loan signings? Some of them good, some of them bad. I mean, I was glad to see Mbabu leave. I thought he would have saved us a bit of money keeping him in. And Tim Krul as well. Did he really need to leave? I mean, he just signed a new contract.
Well, Rafa, I don't get it with Rafa, what he said with that. He said that he's out injured, so we had to buy a goalkeeper because of him and Elliott.
Yeah.
So I can get that, but Krul is only literally 3 weeks away from playing.
Yeah.
And you've got Lawler there, so I don't reckon that's fully true. I mean, I think it's clever how they've made him sign a contract extension, because then we can at least cash in on him if we have to.
Yeah.
But the other ones, the likes of De Jong and Save, Tauve's another one. I mean, even if we can't get a fee for them, at least get instalments or something, just get them out of the club,
Yeah.
Because they could be stuck here when they come back again. It's the same carry on. The Mbabu one, I'm a little bit disappointed, but I'm also, on the other flip side, happy that he's going to go out and play, because young boys and Basel are the main two in Switzerland.
Yeah.
So you'll play first team football at least.
At a good level as well.
At a good level. I'd say it's probably championship lower end level in Swiss League, but it's still going to play football, and he'll be playing European football as well. So happy about it. I would have liked to see him load up an English side person, but only can make do. But all the other youngsters, that was to be expected. The likes of Gilead and Sterry. A little bit disappointed at Armstrong because I thought he could actually have been a rotation player this season. I mean, what's your take on them all?
As I said, like Mbabu, I was gutted to see him leave. Krul, gutted to see him leave. I was a big fan of him. I really don't. You know my thoughts on Sells already. I really still don't rate him. I know I should kind of be more lenient towards him. He's new and all the rest of it, but we could have saved ourselves $4.5 million with him. I reckon could have still could have had Darlow in the side up until Krul was ready to come back.
You love Darlow,
mate. If someone's willing to sign my shirt, I'll love him to death, mate. And
did you see him on Twitter? Doing he's doing someone's hair in the barber or something. Have a look on Twitter, everybody. NUFC #videos.
Yeah.
He's doing some on videos. So yeah, he seems like a canny bloke.
Yeah. Top guy, but yeah, those are the ones I was really gutted to see. As you said, like the youngsters, like Gilead and some of the other players. Armstrong, I kind of could understand because I could see from early, like Rafa Benitez did not rate him as a top 4 striker. Like,
he hit it, didn't he, in that radio interview that he did with BBC. He basically said he's going out on loan.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to be. We all thought that this would be his season, didn't we?
Yeah, I did. And then
he's fourth choice, but hopefully goes and scores plenty of goals with Barnsley, and then you can show Rafa, look, I'm here. He's got until January. I think that probably extended, I reckon, like the others, but I would agree. I'm a little bit disappointed in Armstrong, but I can get why. Totally.
Yeah. So let's talk about the ins then. So, out of all the ins, the 12 signings, who shines out of all of those? Who was the best piece of business and probably the worst piece of business? I mean...
it's a good one, this one. So, I think most Newcastle fans would say 3 players. That would be Hayden, Gale and Richie.
Yeah.
Because they started well. Value for money, I'd probably say Hayden because he's only cost a couple of $2.5 million.
Yeah.
He looks really... I mean, it's only 4 or 5 games in and we've got a long season, but he looks quality. He looks like he's assured. Seems a quiet lad, and I think he'll just grow in confidence.
Yeah.
Richie's he's that price for a reason. He's been excellent so far. Gale's banging the goals in. So those are the main 3. Yedlin, we'll have to see how that one goes. He has progressed with Sunderland a bit. I am confident. The other 2, I think we needed 2 centre-backs like Hanley and Clark to come in.
Yeah.
I'm not keen on Clark, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I think he's another Mike Williamson on the books. There's an error there. There is an error. You've seen it on his debut when he snapped I can't remember who he was. He snapped a Reading defender, attacker in half. Lazar, he seems like a competent lad. I don't know much about him.
I think he's one for the ladies, and Lazar.
Yeah, he seems to be like, hey, Chico and all this.
He's the new dreamboat. That's what they've been saying.
He looks Mexican, even though he's Moroccan. Here's a Scamas. I thought big things of him, but he's barely played. But he has played the last 2 games, and now he looks like he's probably cover for right back and left back, so he's going to be flexed on both sides.
Yeah.
Diarme, my man Diarme, who I keep bumping into.
Your best mate now, isn't he?
I'm in 2 minds of Diarme because I think it's when he feels he's up for it.
Yeah.
And he's got to be up. Last game he was a lot better. Bristol City was a little bit more improvement from the previous game against Huddersfield.
Yeah.
So I think I've covered most of them. Christian Atsu, the only thing that worries me about that is for Everton and Bournemouth over 2 seasons, I think he only played 6 or 7 games. He couldn't get in the side, which is really worrying.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he had a great spell in the second half against Malaga. But what I'm looking forward to for the future is a young lad called El Mahani.
Yes.
The YouTuber Flicks and Tricks. I'm going to go to a couple of under 21s, so hopefully you'll come with us as well.
Yeah, absolute baller, yeah.
So he looks like the Ben Arthur kind of mould, So there's a lot. I mean, what's yours? Is there anyone who's like, wow, for you so far?
I think the first 3 that you covered was spot on. Yeah. For me, I'm more of a Hayden fan than Richie. I think Hayden's been more consistent. He just quietly gets on with his business. He's not like all frills and spills and all the rest of it. He just gets on with it, gets it down.
As well. He's better going forward.
Exactly. I'm so used to having the Colback way of passing sideways or going backwards or all the rest of it. I'm so shocked to see someone going forward and putting it on the floor. I mean, Shelby's good at that, but sometimes his quarterback passes go into row Z sometimes. But those first 3 are excellent. The one that's probably going to stick up for me, who hasn't played yet, is Lazar. I think we've been missing someone down that left flank for a long time now. I mean, even going back to Gutierrez sometimes, he was good at going forward, but he never had no end products. That was frustrating. So having someone on the left side, as well as the right side, to get balls into the box, again, it just makes more assists, more chances for the likes of Mitrovic and Gale and all the rest of it. So
we haven't had no one down that left flank, really, since Robert, I'd probably
say. Exactly. Someone who can just go forward and deliver.
Bit of magic.
Yeah.
Lazar, I would agree. Aaron's he's too injury prone. He's prospect. Chris Natsu, I'm two minds about him, so we'll see. We'll have to see on that bit.
Yeah. So, international break. We've got several of our players out, playing for their countries and that. Who have you got your eye on?
Mitrovic versus Ireland on, I think it's Monday, I think it is.
Mitrovic versus Ireland. Because
he's up against Kieran Clark.
Yeah.
Murphy, so that one. Obviously England, because we're England fans first and foremost. As long as no one comes back in with injuries, I don't really care much about internationals. I know he has a plug. I cover them on the channel on England. Head over. But I don't know about international week. As long as there's no injuries for me, I haven't really got my eye on just really that one, Serbia versus Ireland, because I like it when Newcastle players clash, even though Clark and Murphy are fairly new.
Yeah.
Anyone for you really?
No, I think I was going to say the same one. I think Mitro definitely needs more game time. I mean, even the game that he came back with, he didn't complete the whole game, so he needs minutes on the park at a competitive level. And it'll be good to see the battle against those two. We don't get to see them in training, so it'll be good to see them out on the field and see what Clark's really made of, because he's going to come up against a fair few battles in this league, and I think he's going to play a lot more than what we actually thought. I thought he was just going to be kind of splinter, basically just rotting on the bench for a little bit, but I think he's going to play a hell of a lot more, especially against those teams that are really physical. He's more that physical type of defender rather than kind of,
I think you make a good point about Mitrovic. You're spot on about he needs minutes, because you could use this as well as a bit of preparation to be match fit. Whether he starts against Derby next weekend, we don't know. But the Clark, going back to Clark, on the positives with Clark, he's a talker, isn't he? He's an organiser, a bit like Hanley. But as I've said earlier on the video, come back to me at the end of the season with Clark. With that one.
So we're only, 5 games into the season already. Obviously, it's too early to make a full assessment. But just on the 5 games, what have you found out from the team which has been surprising and,
well, at the start of the season, I thought, we're going to win the league. Very confident with Rafa in charge. If you ask me that question if Steve McLaren was there, I think we'll probably struggle to get into playoffs. So at the start of the season, we're going to win the league. And then we got beat away, a horrible game down at Craven Cottage, which was awful. It didn't really kick on, really. I was over America down over there. It was awful to watch. And then I think the real shock come against Huddersfield. We were like, whoa. It was a bit of a knockback. It goes, we're 2 games in.
I'm still getting abuse from Huddersfield fans now to this day.
Jumped on mine and give me. But I'll wait until the return picture. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm going to go back on my home video and then reply back to them. Hello, it's me again, or something like that. But that was the shock for me. I was like, whoa. And then you start to see players coming in and coming out, and then slowly we're starting to get better as well. So the Bristol City was a grinded out win. So that was an experience, a massive experience. That was some experience for you as well, wasn't it, Forde?
Yes. Yes.
Tell everybody what happened to you.
I'm still paying for it now, literally paying for it now. Oh, that journey. Basically, if you haven't heard by now, didn't get a return coach back, so I had to get a coach from Bristol down to London and then London up to Newcastle, which turned out to be, it turned from a 5-hour coach journey to like a 12-hour coach journey with work the next morning. So
that's horrible, that.
Absolutely awful, man.
We're gripped to our Twitter feed, won't we?
It's put me off away trips for a long while, that's for sure.
But I think the biggest test was clearly the Brighton game, and barring a scare where they hit the woodwork, and towards half time, Newcastle looked really, really impressive against Brighton. So they're going to be up thereabouts then the season. I've got us first, them second. We made them look like literally mid-table lower end championship sides. So Derby's a tricky one as well going away. They're going to be somewhere around about there. If you ask me now, I'm quite happy to take a point, if I'm being honest. Right now, I know we've got Villa on the horizon in September as well. So we've got a couple of tough ones, and I think we're just starting to find the feet. I'm still confident that we'll win the league, and I still think that we'll win the league by 10 points minimum.
Yeah.
I'm that confident with the side, and they're also just going to go back to the Sissoko money. If things do go a bit pear-shaped, we've got that money in January to come back and say, right, we've got this to buy left back, we've got this to buy striker, or there's an injury, or there's someone out for 3 or 4 months, we've got money there in the pot.
I was going to ask you about that. I mean, we've obviously finished £30 million in the blacks, shall we say. Who would you go in for, if anybody, in January? Who are we missing still? Do you think we're missing any players that we need to add to the side?
I think it's too early. I think we'll know when the bad weather comes in, the clocks change in October.
Yeah.
And then you've got the winter nights. I think that'll start. You'll start to tell us the likes of is Diarmi up for winter, is Lazar up for winter. Even the new signings. I think most of the ones that are already there have been in the club, because I noticed that Rafa signed a lot of British and Irish players.
Yes.
They'll know the weather inside out. They're used to it, So I think we'll have to wait. It's too early to say. I've always been shouting out for knockouts, but we'll have to see how it gets on. I don't know, if something was to happen to Gale or something like that, we might need to go in for a striker to guarantee with goals. We'll have to say. I think it's too early. What do you reckon? You reckon the same? Or do you...
No, I think we're just missing that one more attacking midfielder, because we've let quite a few go.
The number 10.
Exactly. We've let Dion go. Wijnaldum's gone. Sissoko, who is a number 10. He's not a winger, is he? So we've let 3 of them go. We've only kept Perez and obviously got Diarmi. I still think we need one more, because Perez likes to play more up front, yes, behind the front man.
Doesn't stay that 10, does he? Like to come wide and come in and set number 10.
Exactly. I just felt that we could have signed with the Sissoko money knockout. I thought we should have just went all out and just done it. Should have spent. If it meant spending 15 million, then so be it. But I could just see the quality that he brought in the Brighton game. I know he didn't have the best of second halves, but he was targeted basically. You could see like Gouffran and Dummett were marking up on him. And when you've got 2 men on you, I don't care who you are, unless you're Messi, you're not gonna beat 2 men, are you? But I could see what he could bring to the team. So I thought,
we've got plenty of money, as I said, for like January, but clubs will know that, so we might have to pay a bit over the top, an extra 4 or 5 million for someone who's going to get what off the seats, So also like a cup run as well. I'm one of them fans that want a cup run as well, even if it's in the League Cup or the FA Cup.
Yeah,
just something to take one mind. Some fans are split on it. Let's just get promoted. I'd like to see even a second string side go for something different. Get my mind off.
Well, I was going to ask you about that as well. Obviously, we've got the 2 upcoming games that I really want to pinpoint. Was obviously Derby away, and then we've got the double header. You haven't heard that term for a while, against Wolves. How do you think we're going to fare against those games?
Yeah, if I say give me 4 points, I'll take it now.
Yeah.
The Wolves back-to-back one's going to be interesting, because there's no way Rafa's going to keep the same side. There's no way. I think he might even spring a surprise for the league game and try and surprise them with the lineup, or formation, and then change when he will change it again. He never keeps the same side as well.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one, having Wolves back to back, because you think once you play the side once, you're like, he's good, he's poor, we can tack there, we can do a long ball, whatever. So the Wolves one's an interesting one. Like, would you take 4 points, or would you go for 6 now?
I'm greedy, man. I'm going for the 6, man. Seriously. I mean, I've seen the players that we brought in. On paper, and obviously games not playing on paper, but on paper we should be able to beat any side in this league.
Got plenty of money as well, Wolves, haven't they?
Yeah. But have they spent it though?
Not really, no.
Not in respect to like we have. I'm still saying 6 points and us going through to the next rounds, honestly. But
optimistic, I like this.
Yeah, I've got to now. I mean, I've got to back my club now. We spent goods, we've recouped well. We've got players. This is the thing as well. I haven't seen this in so long. We've got players in each position, like 2 or 3.
Yeah, we've got a reserve side out.
Yeah, and our reserve side is probably can compete in this league as well. And that's not just me being big-headed, but it's the truth.
Yeah, our reserve side will probably stay up in the championship, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think we could do well, man. Definitely against those sort of teams as well.
Well, come back to me. If it doesn't happen, I'll bring you down to reality. I like your positivity, but I'll be happy with 4 points minimum.
Yeah. And he's talking about size. Do you think Rafa knows his actual best side? Because he's brought so many players in. Again, I think we've gone back to... It might be a case of going back to square one, because in the first game against Fulham, I don't think he knew his best side. In the second game, I don't think he knew his best side. Hello. And I think it took us a couple of games to bed in. Do you think we've gone back to that? Do you think we might struggle against Derby? That's the reason why we might take a point? as well?
Not so much. I think it's just they're going to be up there. They're playing nice football as well, similar to Brighton, quick and fast and zip.
Yeah.
Rafa knows his best side. I think he does.
Yeah.
The new signings probably not yet until he's had a few days training with them. I think he knows his back. Out of the back five, including goalkeeper, I think he knows 4 of them.
Yeah.
So I'll get your cat away. So I think he'll sell, but he might change his mind with Elliot coming back in late October, November time. I think Yedlin's and obviously Lascelles and Mbemba are literally automatic picks, it looks like.
Yeah.
I think Yedlin just start on the bench to guide, to bring them through.
Yeah.
The left back one, there's a certain amount, I think, although Dummett was given the captaincy when Lascelles was on the bench. He's got a bit of threat now because Adara's literally back in training.
Yeah.
It won't be long, a couple of weeks until we see him back. And then you've got Lazar who will play left or even further forward. So I think he's certain around there. I think Richie's a certain.
Yeah.
Again, I think the left wing's a question mark. There's still a few possibilities. I think Hayden and Shelby starting to pick themselves now. They've got a good partnership going.
Yeah.
Gale and Mitrovic up top, but I don't think Rafa will play 2 up top all the time. You could change it to 4-5-1 or 4-3-3 even. So it's to be expected that Gale or even possibly Mitro will start on the bench in some games, especially away from home, you know.
Yeah. And then the last question I was going to ask you about fringe players, because we've had a lot of players filling in or players that we didn't expect in, like Anita playing at right back, Gouffran making an appearance at left wing. What's going to happen to the likes of them? Are they going to still be around?
Well, Rafa likes Anita. If you look at when Rafa come in, I think he's only dropped him, and someone might correct me if I'm wrong, once.
Yeah.
In all of his games, and that's including the back end of the last season as well. So I don't like him at right wing. He's a utility player. He's a nice bloke. Everybody likes him as well. We call him Weavern and everything. But I think he'll cover at right back. I think he's going to be one of those guys that you need. Every club needs a utility man. Yeah. Every club doesn't matter. Look at Man United. They had Phil Neville. He wasn't the world's greatest footballer, but he played everywhere. You know.
Yeah.
I think every club needs one. He's the one. Gouffran, I was like, everybody didn't like him, and then he just started performing. Yeah. Because whether that was because he was trying to get a move or he just wanted to stay in the side, he wants to stay at the club. The rumour is he likes the area. He's settled. Yeah. I think that strike against the bar against Brighton that shocked me. God, imagine if that one went in. Gallagher corner, and I seen that perfectly. So I was shouting, "Oh, nay!" and all this. But I think you need players, especially those two, because those two are grinders. Yeah. The Bowen, yes, but they will work the socks off. Yeah. And they're like the honest players rather than not like flashes of brilliance. Yeah. But I think you need them in a squad. You can look at Barcelona. If you look at them, they've got Sergio Busquets. He's not exactly flash, but he sits in that team and he does a job for them. Yeah, yeah. He starts every game, you know. So that's what I'm trying to get at, you know. Okay. What about yourself? What do you think on them?
I think Anita might struggle to get back into the team now, which is a shame. Obviously, with Yedlin back into the team, well, coming into the team, I think he might go into the next game straight away. Gouffran, I think he might start in the next one ahead of Atsu, and then Atsu will be bedded into the team eventually. Yeah. It wouldn't make sense to just chuck him in there straight away. But
because you don't want too many strangers.
Exactly. Hopefully they're using this week well just to kind of get used to each other because, you know, as I said, it might be going back to square one. Everyone's getting used to each other and all the rest of it now. So
the ones that are there, because there's quite a lot of them on international duty.
Yeah, it's surprising how many internationals we've got here at the club.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I think there's like half the side is missing.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Who knows?
Well, Lee, it's nice having you again. I'm going to have to get you back on there before the Derby game just to get more of an in-depth talk about the Derby game.
Yeah, come on to mine as well. We'll have to get a bit on mine.
100%, man. I'm waiting. I'm just a call away.
Champion.
But cheers, man. Take care of yourself, mate.